please put your hands together and welcome to the stage, Kwame Asante. Oh, shit. Do you want to fuck off over there? I'll do it again.
Good enough, that's fine. Clapham Grand and beyond, are we well? Fantastic, it's great to be here. My name's Kwame Asante. Oh boy, being a stand-up comic takes me all over the UK. One of the commonest questions I get asked when I'm out and about is, Kwame, where are you from? Which, on the surface, sounds like a simple question, but in reality, those same 4 words can mean so many different things. For example, in London, where are you from usually means where do you live? Further north, where are you from means why are you black? Like, explain. Although, interestingly, in Scotland, where are you from means why aren't you Scottish? Like, the Scots see past race, but not in a way that makes you feel comfortable. So now, whenever someone asks me where I'm from, I always give the same answer to everyone, which is I was born and raised in southeast London, but my family comes from Ghana. I just lay my whole life out on the table, and people can pick out the bits they wanted to hear all along. Like, I used to just say, oh, I come from London, but some people got properly funny about that. Like, I've generally had people roll their eyes at me like, oh, okay, you're from London. Normally it's because they already had some bullshit pre-prepared fact about Africa that they now don't get to share with me. Like, oh, he didn't address his blackness. No, I can't tell him my favorite film is The Lion King. Or some other nonsense. It is perfectly acceptable, by the way, to meet someone, find out they're from Africa, and be like, cool, and just leave it there. You don't have to force a connection with everyone. I meet so many white people that I don't have a lot to say to, and that's okay. That's fine. What I don't do is, you're white. Oh my God, I went to Waitrose last week. Let's make that a conversation. Oh, you're not from Waitrose. Okay, buddy. Oh, man. Some of you may already know this about me. Some of you may not, but outside of stand-up comedy, I work as an A&E doctor. And, like, when people... Thank you. I'll be honest with you guys, that's a way more civilized reaction than what I'm used to getting. Because especially if I'm at like a party and people find out I'm an A&E doctor, I always get asked questions like, what's the weirdest thing you've pulled out of a patient's bum? And unfortunately, the answer to which is always the same, my own finger. Which tends to kill the conversation, because no one's ever ready for the truth. To be fair, like, the idea of a rectal examination makes everyone awkward. A lot of patients refuse to have one. A lot of doctors make excuses to not have to do one. But there are a lot of important conditions where not examining the... Hello? Oh, I'm back. There are a lot of important conditions where not examining the back passage can mean missing a diagnosis, which is why one of the professors at my medical school always used to say, if you don't put your finger in it, you'll put your foot in it. It's an old medical school phrase. Although I went to medical school in central London, where for a lot of the students, English was their second language. So I was always worried that some of the students didn't realize that putting your foot in it is a colloquial English phrase. I just got visions of some poor nurse walking to a clinic and like, doctor, I just went, doctor, what are you doing? I'm saving lives, woman. I'm doing the Lord's work. Oh, dear. What else? I have got a girlfriend. Me and my girlfriend have been together for 3 years now. And I think, honestly, the timing of the relationship was good because modern dating was getting too dicey for me. I just wasn't enjoying it. Like, I remember one time I went on a date, and it was one of, like, the vibe of the date was kind of off. Like, it was one of those dates where, like, outwardly the date is progressing, but inwardly I just never felt like we were clicking at any point. Got to the end of the night, we both went our separate ways. And then 20 minutes later, she WhatsApps me like, why don't you make a move? And I replied, honestly, I just didn't think you were interested. To which she replies, oh, I was just playing hard to get, winky face. And I was like, yeah, and I was playing black man with no legal team. And spoiler alert, black man with no legal team is not as fun as playing hard to get. Those are two very different board games. Some dice aren't meant to be rolled, ladies and gentlemen. Rich white man with a legal team. Now that's a board game for the whole family. I'm talking hours and hours of consequence-free gameplay. Literally, oh, best friends of a sex offender. Yes, I'm a prince, yes. Oh, single mothers are failures. Boom, Prime Minister, I made it. Grab him by the pussy. Oh, leader of the free world. Do literally whatever the hell you like in Rich White Man of a Legal Team, the hit new board game from the makers of Millennial Monopoly. That's right, Millennial Monopoly. It's just like regular Monopoly, except the properties are more expensive, the utilities are more expensive, and when you pass go, instead of getting £200, you get experience and exposure and good vibes for your CV. Going to jail is the same. But I think my favorite thing about having a girlfriend is like I've gotten away from all the bullshit dating advice out there. I spent a big chunk of my mid-20s single, so I had to put up with my fair share of bullshit dating advice, like the classic, oh, just drop your standards, Kwame. You wouldn't have so much problem finding someone if you just dropped your standards, which is a bad road to go down, isn't it? Like once I was in a Starbucks in Edinburgh, and this girl came up to me. She was like, oh, mate, are you that poet from that poetry show last night? Mate, I loved your poems. Your poems were so sick. And I was just like, I'm really sorry. Like, I'm not a poet. That wasn't me. And like, naturally, she was mortified, made an excuse, left the cafe straight away. At which point, my mate turns to me and goes, oh, she was fit, man. You should have asked for a number. Now, like, I'm pretty chilled when it comes to dating, but being able to tell different black people apart is one of my basic requirements in a partner. Like literally the minimum standard. I don't want to come across as high maintenance or anything. Or stuck up Kwame's gonna die alone. I just can't go any lower than that. Imagine our future together. I can just picture her rolling over in bed one morning like, last night was so wrong, but it felt so right. We got to make sure my husband doesn't find out about this. Hello, it's me, your husband. What the hell? As a side note, whilst I'm on the topic of sex, you know who I think is going to have the toughest time when it comes to safe sex? The toughest time when it comes to safe sex? Greta Thunberg. You're all going to have to stay with me here. I just imagine 22-year-old Greta Thunberg like hooking up with someone at a house party and then being like, whoa, sorry, do you have protection? And the guy being like, oh, I'm actually trying to move away from single-use plastics. Is this the future you wanted, Greta? What does straws ever do to you? Having a drink with my mouth like an animal. And Greta's like, ha, very funny. But if you're really smart, you know that population control will do way more for the planet than reducing plastic use. And so my question still stands, do you have protection? Damn, 22-year-old Greta, whose hypothetical age I feel the need to re-emphasize. Because I'm a black man with no legal team. Now I'm sexually and environmentally active. Yes, I'll wear protection. A happy ending for Greta. Give the girl a break is what I'm saying, basically. Oh, man. I'll leave you guys with this. Being an A&E doctor, I think just working in the public sector in general, one of the biggest lessons I've learned at work is especially when it comes to topics surrounding race, sometimes you really do have to give people the benefit of the doubt. I remember one night in A&E, I was working with an elderly couple, and just as I was leaving, the lady who was my patient was like, oh, thank you for everything you've done tonight, doctor. And her husband, who hadn't said anything to me the entire consultation, turns to me, points at me, and goes, you know what, doctor? I wish I had your shade, because we've got a villa in Spain and I get sunburnt so easily. And it's just like, if you really think about it, this is clearly a guy that just doesn't know any black people and generally thought that would be a nice thing to say to me, which at the core of it doesn't make him a bad person, just purely objectively. But at the same time, I can't positively reinforce that behavior. I can't be like, oh, you like this shade? Oh, girl, you like this shade? Girl, well, this shade is number 0023 Cocoa Mystery. If you like it, I've also got some other samples. How dark did you have in mind, baby? Because then suddenly everyone's all like, Dr. Asante's unprofessional and stop taking patients to your car. Trying to kill my side hustle. Ladies and gentlemen, it's good to be back on stage. Keep supporting live comedy. Save live comedy. I'm Kwame Asante. Thank you so much. Cheers.
Kwame Asante, ladies and gentlemen, come on!